I'm Sam Cusack,
I'm Briar Bleeker.
and today we're going to be talking about the Casa Chinese New Year
Yeah.
celebration that just went down tonight. What's the date? February 16th?
16th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
February 16th. So I guess we'll get started. So, Briar, what were your first impressions going into the celebration?
Well, so I didn't actually get there until the intermission, which I didn't even know there was going to be an intermission.
Right.
So I had pep band, and so I wasn't able to come till later. And so my first impressions were of a mass of people just in a giant line, and an amazing smell of food. Granted, I was really hungry, so it probably might have smelled better than it was. But so I hopped in line with some friends and just chatted while we waited, and all of a sudden I could see these amazing piles of food in front of me, and that was my first impression. So it was pretty good.
That's awesome. What kind of food was it?
So it was, I believe it was authentic, Chinese cuisine. They had multiple options. So they had pot stickers at the beginning with pork or vegetables, so that you could choose what you wanted. They had noodles or rice. They also had fish. And then they had some unique desserts, which I've never seen before, the sesame balls or an egg tart. So, yeah.
I didn't see that. I had the egg tart. You see, I went too. And, it was, I also came during intermission because I had prior engagements with different things. So, I came in during intermission, giant line of people, but I didn't start smelling the food till later, so I assumed that the food was kind of getting a little cold. But that's okay. No, it was still really tasty. It was honestly really good. What was your favorite?
I really liked the pot stickers. The very first thing I tried, it was so good.
Yeah.
It had corn in there, and the outer shell, it was just so good.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Honestly, I liked the eggplant meal.
I didn't try the
best.
eggplant.
Yeah, okay, so I initially didn't go for it because I'm eggplant.
It was purple.
It was purple, and I'm I don't know if I want to. But after I grabbed all the food and went to go sit down, I forgot my chopsticks. So so I'm shoot, or my utensils. So I went back in, and I was the last person to be able to go back in. I said that I needed chopsticks, so I got chopsticks, and there was just nobody there except the people who were serving food. I'm screw it. So I got a second plate. I don't think we're allowed second plates, but I got a second plate and I got the eggplant. And it was actually really good. It was it was sweet. I usually don't like eggplant. And I kind of knew this, but the guy recommended it, so I'm screw it.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of rice, and it was this sweet sauce. I don't know how to describe any of this food, but
yes,
but anyways, it was a little I don't know how to describe it other than tender and mushy almost.
Okay.
I don't want to say mushy because that's got some bad connotation.
Yes, yeah.
But it was melt in your mouth, and it was
good.
it was really good.
Maybe I should have got that.
Yeah.
How was the egg tart? I didn't get the egg tart.
The egg tart was okay. Honestly, it felt really buttery.
Buttery.
I don't know if it was buttery or anything, but it was still really good. I mean, it had a hint of sweet. It was very good.
Cool.
I have to say.
I got the sesame ball, and that
Right,
was
how was that? Yeah.
so on the outside it was covered in sesame seeds, so I wasn't initially sure how it was gonna taste, but it was all right. In the inside, it had a red bean, I think is what my friend called it.
Or was it a
It
beet,
was.
or?
It wasn't a actual hard center, but it was a soft mushy center, and it kind of felt like peanut butter almost, and it was actually really. It was really sweet and kind of greasy. I'm not sure. It was soft. It was really.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh,
I got
there
a
you go.
second one.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a friend who was actually in the show. Her name was Emily.
Oh.
She was in the lion dance. We'll talk about it later. But she was in the lion dance, and she came around at the end, and she had this giant tray of the egg.
Oh no way!
The egg tarts. Yeah. So I was full at that point because I had two plates of food.
Yeah.
So I didn't take anybody. I probably should have grabbed you one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah. It's okay.
So then what? So where did you sit, and what was the atmosphere inside the actual place?
Yeah, so I got in, and obviously this was during intermission also, so everybody was kind of already sitting down, so it was very crowded. I don't even know how many people. It was probably a couple hundred. What would you say?
Probably two.
A couple hundred.
Yeah.
I'd say. And it was in the Great Hall, so it was a big enough space for everybody. And my friends, I was looking around, and I was with one friend who we came from Middlebrook, so we had walked. We found our friends, and we were kind of towards the back-ish, the back right.
Okay.
So we didn't have the greatest view or anything because it was all tables up to the stage.
Yes. Yeah.
So it wasn't the greatest view, But they had a giant screen up there, so
Yeah.
we could still see
That's
the
good,
dances
that's
and
good.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I really liked the lighting that it had. It had like a red ambiance, and the decorations were super pretty. I was off on the like way right, mids kind of, and I had a fairly good view of the stage, but yeah, when I sat down with my plate of food, pretty much everybody else was done, and they were just chatting and having a good time, and you know, just people who were in the show from our floor came out to talk, and it was just really fun to chat about it for a little bit.
Yeah, who was in the show?
So there was Kenny and David Ma were in it, and Andrew, who I actually didn't.
Andrew Walker?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's on our floor.
Yeah,
okay.
I had recognized him, but I didn't realize.
Yeah, he was at the front, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was fun.
So yeah, it was a really good way to start it off by like meeting people there and like having people who were actually in the show tell me what it was going to be about. So
that's cool. Yeah. What was your favorite dance piece? I guess.
Oh goodness. My very favorite piece was the lion dance. Like
oh really?
I've seen it in, you know, like cartoons and like, you know, traditional documentaries maybe, but I've never actually seen one of those dragon or lion dances in person. And it's like, it was just so cool because at one point of the dance, like there's 2 people per costume, you know, and then they hopped off the stage, which first of all, I don't know how the back person would ever like know when to jump off the stage, but then they came through the audience, and it was just so cool to see like their coordinations and the head movements and how it just made the animal look so real. And then it came so close, it came right by our table where I could have touched them if I wanted to, but I let them have their distance.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you probably.
But yeah, they were just playing around with the audience, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah. We were towards the back, so nobody really came around here. So I was a little disappointed, you know, because it actually looked kind of cool. It was kind of cool. I was also tempted to like go up there and you know, get a closer look. But yeah, no, that was probably honestly one of my favorites too. Just because like they had a bench at the end that they were like. What they would do, so there's 2 people in the dance like costume, right? So one person is the butt or the back, and one person's the head that controls the head and everything. And what the person in the back would do, so the front person would like jump onto the back person, and then they would throw the front person. Yeah. So I just thought that was, I don't know, I just thought it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, and they had to be like physically fit to it, and lots of training to be able to do that.
And they were running around the whole time, and they were like controlling everything on the dragon. They could blink the eyes, move the ears, and they had like a ton of different things they could do with the dragon. So I don't know, I just thought it was pretty enjoyable.
Lion.
Oh shoot, lion. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Okay.
It was the lion
Yeah,
dance.
they gave like a prerequisite to
that
like before the dance that it isn't the dragon dance, it's the lion dance, because it's the lion dance that I don't know the difference between the 2 of them, but I do know that the lion dance is like supposed to be like a symbol of like power and like strength and like superiority. And they do it at the beginning of the year to like to have like a good luck for the next year, basically. Cool. So yeah, it's a little bit, it's a tidbit of history.
There you go.
Or something like that. I don't know the origins or anything. I don't know anything about it, but
well, that's really cool.
Yeah, so it's cool.
So what was like your second favorite then? If the lion dance was your favorite, then what would you say was next?
Ooh, I would have to say the first Casa Chinese New Year dance.
The modern?
Was it the modern one or was it the the Twin Cities Chinese dancers, I believe.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that Andrew was in.
Oh, okay.
And it was with the bigger group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like a group of about probably like 20-ish.
Okay.
15, 20 kids who were up there, all basically our age, and they did these I don't know, they were just like enjoyable dances to watch. I don't know, they seemed choreographed pretty well, and they had a set of dances to like modern music.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it was pretty fun. It was fun to watch, and it was kind of funny to watch one of my friends. I had no idea he could dance. So it was pretty enjoyable. So I don't know, I think I enjoyed that. How about you?
Well, I think my second favorite would have been the singer who came out.
Oh, yeah?
She was just so confident and like her ability that she was just came out strong, and like I didn't understand a single word she said because I don't speak Chinese, but I still like thoroughly enjoyed the song. She was a beautiful singer, and her outfit was just like beautiful, and I don't know, she's been doing it before, and I assume that she'll do it again, and I just like really appreciated her contribution because it was like, you know, a fairly traditional taste of what like celebrations and like the music they would have listened to, and it's just it was really cool. Yeah,
that must be. Yeah. I did enjoy it too, and I think I think her name was like Alicia Wong. And she sang "Courage." I tried to look it up like afterwards because like I was actually kind of curious as to which song.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it.
Oh.
Yeah, but because I wanted to know like what she was singing about, but because she didn't really give a description of what it was.
Before.
But she did say that it's like an important song to her, so I thought that was I'd agree. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
So let me see. What was one thing that you learned about Chinese or Asian culture when you?
Probably the fact that like every single year just is different based on the animal that they assign to it. I didn't realize that. I was like little when I would go to the restaurants and see the little calendar and it'd be like, oh, I'm the year of the dragon or whatever. But I didn't realize that every single year it changed and they all had a symbol. So that was something that I realized that. So there were pig decorations everywhere, and it was, like now it's the year of the pig, and they take that like very symbolically, and that was something I didn't realize before coming to this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And another thing, like I heard the year of the dragon is supposed to be, because that's like, that was 2001, I think it was, because I think my brother is a dragon or something. Yeah, but I heard the year of the dragon. Actually, interesting thing is. Because like each like child is born in a specific year, they get like assigned the animal kind of.
Yeah.
They were born in the year of a dragon, or they were born in the year of the pig. And I heard the year of the dragon is supposed to be very important. It's supposed to like signify like power and like special children. These children who are born in this year are supposed to be like really important and like future leaders and future like I don't know influencers and stuff like that. So I guess I heard on like a podcast, I think it was once, that in China it's a huge thing to abstain from having children until the year of the dragon. Yeah.
Okay, so people can like choose the animal that they're assigned to if they like.
If they wait, if they're like,
okay, yeah, that's
let's wait
really
till
interesting.
next year.
Yeah.
So like population, like there used to be at least, because now there's like a whole thing that the population would like boom in these years, and then it would like everybody would wait. I don't know. I just thought that was like a very interesting thing. Like, and if it actually affected the person and like. Whether or not they would actually succeed because they're treated as a dragon child, or if they had such high expectations that they would relapse or like fail more often.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it was actually really cool, and I forgot exactly what they did about it because I know that it was like actually becoming a problem because because the school systems. They couldn't handle all the boom of kids in this year, and then there's like no kids the next year. You know what I mean? It would come in waves instead of... So, I can't remember, but I think that was one of the reasons why they had the child limit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Only one child per family, which was like a whole thing. I don't know if it's still a thing.
I don't know.
I'd
have to check on that.
Yeah, do a little research.
Yeah.
But, no, it was actually... I don't know. I just thought that was like a really interesting fact that...
What did you think of, like... the traditional dress style that the hosts were wearing.
I thought that was really cool. It actually reminded me because, so I had this tech director, right, back at high school. I used to do tech crew for the shows and musicals.
Okay, yeah.
And he's not Asian or anything. He's just like this, like, Irish guy, but he was just like this really, like, nice guy, genuinely nice guy. And he went to Asia. I don't know if it was China or not, but I know he went to Asia one year, like back when he was like young, right? And then he bought this purple like shirt. I don't know what they're exactly called, but it's like a traditional Asian. I don't know necessarily if it's Chinese or anything, but I know it's like a definite like traditional Asian style made out of like. Fully like full silk, and it's like fully high quality. He spent a lot of money on this thing
when he was little.
Not when he was little.
Okay.
No, when he was like
younger,
like a young adult. Now he's not.
Okay.
So I'm sorry I didn't clarify. But anyways, he came in wearing this one day, and apparently, because it was like in the middle of winter when we were working on this, and that's like all he wore, like over a t-shirt, and apparently it's supposed to be like really warm.
Huh.
I did not know that at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like warm enough as a winter coat. At least this is what he was claiming. I don't know if this is true or anything. It may have been like a special something, but this is what he said, and he was like so proud of himself, and he just looked. It just looked weird. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always thought they were like really beautiful, like especially the intricate designs of the thread and stuff through like the flowers. I just think they're so pretty, and I would love to wear one. I don't know, but it's not like.
Well, I mind you, I only thought it was weird because he came in one day and he's just this like
suddenly
older gentleman suddenly in this bright purple. I don't know. I don't know if it was like right for him to do that or anything. I don't know. It was kind of weird. So, but no. Other than that, I think they're really cool. I mean, it's honestly kind of
and I think it's really like for people in the club in Casa, it's really fun for them to be able to share that part of their culture and to be able to like wear it proudly, you know, and I think that this club just gives them a really good opportunity to just be like, yep, this is who we are, and like we want to share this with you. So I think that's really cool.
It's kind of like a link to their like heritage and stuff. Like I'm Irish, right? And I always thought it was really what?
Nothing. No,
and I always thought like I lived in Ireland, and it was really cool to like learn about like the history of my family and like how it like pertains to like who I am today. So I think that's really cool that they have this club and this organization to do that, to like, you know, express their heritage and like express who
and
they
even
are.
the girl at the end when she was like saying the closing statement, she's like, I haven't been able to go home to China for the past 2 years to be able to celebrate this, but this club gives me like a new home to be able to do this, and it makes, you know, all the celebrations worth it, and it makes it like even more fun, not necessarily like because I'm away from home, but because these people are here to celebrate with me. And I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's really special. Like what they're doing also, if not for themselves, just to, you know, celebrate, but for a community, like, you know, U of M, like all of these people like us who have no idea about this culture. Like honestly, I have no idea, and I'm actually kind of curious as to learn about. Like I was literally looking up afterwards, like what does the lion mean? What does the dragon dance mean and everything? And I don't know, I guess that's really cool because it's almost eye-opening to people like us who don't know exactly about this culture, and I think that's really important to do, and like to keep diversity and to, you know, express yourselves in, I don't know, various ways, and I just think it's a really cool thing that they're doing.
What did you think of the scavenger hunt?
Oh yeah. So there was a part towards the end-ish. It was kind of like towards the middle of where we came in, but you know, it was after intermission. So, but they brought up like 5 random people at the end, and they were told to go out and find certain items within the crowd. Yeah. So they had to like run around, and whoever could get back got like a little prize at the end. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I was trying to volunteer one of my friends.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, what did they have to find again? It was like
So they had to find a red envelope, something with Chinese characters, a pig, because it's the year of the pig, boba, which is the little jelly balls that they have in the bottom of their drinks.
Oh, right.
And then a Casa board member, which I felt really bad for the little boy who went up there and didn't know who any of the board members were. So like all of the other people who like got chosen kind of were a part of the group, or like new people who were in the group. So they all had somebody from the board, and I felt bad for the little boy who didn't. But
yeah, that's kind of sad. I remember distinctly. He was like standing, like, because they brought up all these 5 people and they have the bags set out on the stage, and he was at the very end.
Yeah.
And he was like in the dark. There was no light on him, and he was just kind of standing. And he's this like, what is he, like a 9-10-year-old kid who's just kind of standing there, and he has no idea who any of these people are.
I think he still had fun though, because he was running around and having, you know, trying to find stuff. But
I'm sure I didn't see him doing that, but I just thought it was.
It was a good audience interaction.
It was I thought it was fun to get everybody, you know, enjoying the time, you know, because otherwise we may have just like, you know, sat there and felt a little disengaged.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, the scavenger hunt and the prizes at the end.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a cool way to engage
and because we came in too late, we didn't actually get to enter into that raffle, but at the end they gave away 2 t-shirts, a rice cooker, or
something like I thought they said flyer. Oh, fryer or something like that.
A food thing, and
something to do
a
food.
printer,
like
a brand new printer, and a TV,
and a full
Somebody
size
won.
giant. What is it, like a 24-inch or like a 36-inch TV? Yeah.
So
my God.
since people had come to the thing at the beginning and they had their food, they left after, and so then they drew the raffle afterwards, and they kept calling numbers and nobody was claiming. And I didn't get a ticket. I was about to be like, "That's mine. I'll take the printer if no one else is gonna claim it."
Honestly,
So
it was pretty funny. No, we had one person who had a ticket at our table.
Oh no!
So apparently nobody else got tickets.
Signed in.
We signed in.
Yeah.
And we had one person. We were all betting on that one ticket because he's on our floor. If he would have gotten a free printer, we all
that would have been so nice.
That would have been so nice. And
yeah.
like,
so I think this club did a really good job of like trying to get people to come and like kind of rewarding them almost for coming, because I think that was so nice of them to put down that money for people that have these free prizes. Like that was just so genuine of them.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I think they did a pretty good job at like advertising and like getting enough people to come.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. Like I heard it through word of mouth through one of my friends who was in the show, Emily, who already previously mentioned.
Yes.
She was in the Lion Dance. So she was like trying to get me to come, and I'm like, oh, perfect, a little cultural experience, and you know, it should be fun because free food.
Yes.
But then I noticed like all over campus, like there's a ton of signs, and even in like group chats, this is being sent out. I'm like, wow, they're doing a pretty good job at advertising this. I don't know where you are.
And I mean, especially since the club is like so big, they have all those people who are doing all this hard work, and they want people, like they want their friends to come, so they have those people also like, you know, spreading the word. They're like, hey, I'm gonna be in this like dance, you should come watch. So there's also free food, which will always get a college student to go to something.
Of course. Yeah, especially on Saturday.
Yeah, I heard it from you partially, but I also saw the signs up on our floor by the elevators, I believe, and then later I saw it on my phone from something. I don't quite remember what, but yeah, it was. I also heard about it quite a few times. So
well, that's pretty cool. Well, you had talked about people like word of mouth getting their friends to come who are in the show. Do you feel like you were like, do you think the atmosphere was like accepting, or do you think it was kind of closed off, or like what did you feel?
I felt like the atmosphere in the event tonight was very welcoming and open, but I don't know if the atmosphere in the club itself is, you know, super welcoming to not outsiders, but everybody to join, because it is, you know, the Chinese club, and so
is it specifically Chinese, or is it Asian? Chinese American Students Association. Okay, so it is Chinese, yes.
Chinese. But I did see people who were like serving the food who weren't, and so then maybe they are open. Not necessarily that I've done the research to join the club, but I don't know. It seems like a good club to be in if you want to be able to experience that culture. So if the club is open, then it's a really good way to learn about that, way to live life, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, all right, well, that's pretty fun. See if I have any more topics to discuss. Do you have a tradition that was most interesting to you, or?
Probably just the New Year's not being the same as our, like, the regular New Year's, I guess. That's the one thing, that the tradition that kind of threw me. I was like, well, since New Year's wasn't actually tonight for them, it was about a week ago, I was just, like, floored at how...
I think it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
and just how, like... It's almost a month different from ours, and like how that can affect like their calendar and how much it changes like their culture almost, because like their New Year's is more in like the middle of winter up here especially, and like, you know, they celebrate Christmas technically. Like if they do Christmas, like it would be so much more earlier compared to their New Year's. So I don't know. I thought that tradition was just different and something I had never thought about before.
And it gets you thinking about the Chinese or the calendar that they use in China. I don't personally know. I think it's like based on the moon. I think I heard
the lunar calendar.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's the lunar calendar. So I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting. Now it's based more off of astrology versus. I think we're more based on months. Like I think ours, like the Roman calendar is what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's based more on like how the Romans divided up their time, I believe.
Yeah.
So
like that.
I think that's kind of like an interesting cultural tradition in and of itself, which I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. I know this isn't like a tradition or anything, but I was looking at because we had a couple like Chinese characters on our table because. Obviously, they distributed them for the scavenger hunt and decorations. Yeah, but I don't know. I was looking at them and they're so intricate. And I had a couple friends who are like actually taking like Chinese or Mandarin, and they were like describing like certain like words that was like intermission, and then there were like a few characters up there, and they were like trying to figure out what it was, and it was like. Rest, half, and something else I can't remember, but it was kind of interesting. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I think like even like minute changes in the characters mean like different meanings, and they're not all like associated with letters either.
Yeah, I've heard that the Chinese characters are actually supposed to be pictures, so when you're drawing them, it's supposed to be kind of a picture of what that word is, or like what it means, kind of. And I thought that was just really interesting how. I probably would never be able to figure out the overlapping like meanings of pictures and words, and just how like different people's minds can work, and it's just so expansive the changes and like little lines can have. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting because like I don't know, it like relates to I don't know how old the language is, but it kind of relates to like old. Is it? I don't even know how old it is compared to probably it's probably a lot older than English and everything.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it's much older. But it relates to like the Egyptian, hieroglyphics too, which is because they were all drawings of certain like pictures of things. So I don't know. I just think that's kind of an interesting cultural thing too. Like, and I heard somewhere like that the language that you speak like changes the way you think and the way because like a lot of languages like. Let's say English, for example, has a lot of different tenses.
Okay.
So I think people can more adequately think like more either like short term, long term, like past tense and everything. And some languages don't have like a future tense.
Okay.
So it changes the psyche of the people and how they think. Like I don't know, there was like just a lot of studies done about it. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I did hear one study about somebody who kind of traveled the world a bit and talked with different people about sequences of the day. So they gave them like 5 pictures of something like this would be a picture of the morning and the midday or your evening and the nighttime. And so then they asked them to like lay it out how they would, see their day going. And they found that it actually correlated with the way their language was written. So English, we obviously read left to right. So people lay out their morning on the left and then their night on the right. But then somebody who would read, like, I think Japanese is backwards. So they would put the morning on the right and then do the night on the left. And then sometimes the, like, African languages are written, like, up and down. So then they would start with morning at the top and then night at the bottom. Wow. So I just thought that was really interesting.
That is actually really interesting. Because I know... Is it Arabic or something that's also backwards? I'm not 100% sure, maybe. But I think maybe. Or not backwards, but left to right. I'm sorry. Like left to right. So I don't know. I think that's also really interesting. And like another way like that it changes like people's mental like thinking or the way they think about things is colors through colors too.
Oh, okay.
So I also saw like a little video on this about how different languages have different groups of colors. Huh. So in English, we've got like, what is it, like 7 or something colors? I don't know. Roy G. Biv. Yeah, okay, so 7. Shut up, okay? We have 7 groups of colors. Yes. And I think it's in Russian, they have like 6 or something. I'm not 100% sure. But in like lots of different languages, they have like lots of different groupings. Like
Okay.
some indigenous tribes like only have like 3 different sections.
Oh.
And yeah, it's very interesting to like think about how language can like change your mentality and how like you organize things or how you group things together. So
Okay.
I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
So would you go to something like this again?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of good time with friends and everything, and I don't know, the atmosphere was just a good time.
Yeah,
you know, it was like
yeah.
a genuinely good time. I felt like I experienced like something that I don't experience every day. You know, and I thought it was like a different thing that kind of changes up my normal day to day.
Yeah,
and I thought
yeah.
it was kind of cool. So what about you?
Oh, of course. I had a really good time. Like, when the lions came by me,
Yeah.
I was just having, like, the best time. And the
Must
food
have.
was delicious. And it was just
That's
really
awesome.
joy to get to, like, peek into a different culture for the
Yeah.
night. And I thought it was really good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, thanks, Bart. That was
Yeah.
that was a really cool talk. All
Yeah.
right. Well. All right.